So next is Meow Mix. Wow. Okay. For ad ID, is it mandatory to create a subdomain, or will the Amazon object URL be enough? Is there any advantage setting it up to use a CNAME? That's a little bit heavier than we typically like to get into on one of these, but let me see if I can answer it conceptually. What link should we use as canonical in our ad ID page, the main money site? It depends on what you're doing. Like, okay, is it mandatory to create a subdomain? No, it's not. You can use the Amazon S3 bucket domain. That's, that's absolutely fine. It just depends on whether you want to brand it or not. If you want to brand it, use a subdomain, and you can map it using something like Cloudflare or something like that. It's up to you how you want to do it. It doesn't matter. You can still get the benefit without using a subdomain. For a lot of mine, I don't have subdomain set up. For companies, for clients, I do use a subdomain so that they have a branded ad ID page. But for a lot of my lead gen stuff, I just use the Amazon bucket because it's just an additional step that I can cut out. I don't need to create a subdomain. You can still get the benefit of it without the subdomain, the branded subdomain. Does that make sense? As far as the canonical, it depends on what you're doing. Or how you're going, what are you going to do with your ad ID page? If you're going to throw a shit ton of link spam at it, which you can do, then you're not going to want to canonicalize that to your money site, because then your money site is going to show those links pointing to them. A lot of the link trackers now, backlink analysis tools, will actually show canonicalized backlink profiles. In other words, if you've got a page out there that's canonicalized to a page on your home site or your money site, and you're throwing a shit ton of spam links at it, it will show as links pointing directly to your money site. And so I don't recommend doing that. Now, if you're going to be just using a GMB website, for example, then you can canonicalize the ad ID page to the GMB website and throw kitchen sink spam at it. It wouldn't matter. But if you're going to do it for a self-hosted domain, I would recommend that you consider using something like your G site from a Drive Stack, right, as the canonical. Or just make sure that you're only doing clean shit to your ad ID page and use something like a Drive Stack that points to your ad ID page, and then throw your kitchen sink spam at the Drive Stack. Does that make sense? So, I mean, there's a number of ways you can set it up. You just got to think about it logically, guys. Where do you want the spam to go, and where do you want it to point? You don't want, you can launder the juice and direct the juice through certain properties in a way that it's not going to negatively affect a money site. And that's part of the reason we always recommend using Drive Stacks. Use the Drive Stack as your filtering tool, right? And the ad ID is kind of part of that. Marco, you want to comment on that? I know you got to be itching to make a comment.
No, I'm not going to comment on this because I'd have to give away training, and I won't do that in a free forum.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's what the mastermind's for, guys, when we can get real in depth into that stuff. So